If you're in finance, you know the feeling. It's one of the most intense rituals in the entire corporate world, the month-end close. Right? It's this high-stakes, deadline-driven scramble to deliver the financial truth of the business. So let's dive into how the very best teams are completely changing the game.
Think about this number for a second. 12. That's how many times a year this whole thing happens. Every single month, it's like you're playing a championship game, where every single number has to be perfect. And the pressure is just always on. It's a pretty relentless cycle.
You know, we're always obsessed with speed, right? Close faster, report sooner. But what if that whole focus is kind of misplaced? What if the real secret to a smooth, stress-free close has almost nothing to do with those final frantic few days? That is the big idea we're going to unpack right now.
Okay, so to really get the solution, we first have to appreciate the problem. For way too many organizations, the close is just controlled chaos. We're talking late nights, last-minute fire drills, and a mad dash against the clock.
And just look at the wild difference in performance here. I mean, world-class teams are closing their books in just 3 days. 3! Now compare that to teams relying on manual processes. They can take up to 2 full weeks. And this isn't just about being fast. This gap right here tells a huge story about process maturity, about control, and about efficiency.
So what is everybody so busy doing during the close? Well, they're validating every key number against this framework called CAVOP. Think of it as the accountant's ultimate quality checklist. Are the numbers all there? Is it complete? Do the assets we say we have actually exist? Are they valued correctly? It's this super rigorous validation that takes all the time and effort.
And this, my friends, brings us to the big reveal. Because if everybody is using the same accounting rules, why are some teams just so much faster and more accurate than others? Well, it's because they have completely redefined their starting line.
So let me just ask you, when does the close really start? If you said, the last day of the month, or maybe business day 1 of the new month, that's what almost everyone thinks. But the best teams, they have a radically different answer.
And here it is. This is the new approach. The close doesn't start on business day 0. No way. It starts 5 days before the month even ends. In this period, they call the pre-close. This is when they're doing early analysis, planning for accruals, expenses that have happened but haven't been paid yet, and handling stuff like the accounts payable cutoff. So by the time the month actually flips over, a huge chunk of the hard work is already done.
This quote just nails the mindset shift perfectly. It's not about a frantic sprint at the finish line. It's about a continuous, rolling discipline of validation. The close stops being this huge, scary event and becomes more of a final confirmation of work that's been happening all along.
So, okay, how do you actually make this happen? What does this look like day to day? Let's get into the modern closing playbook and see how you can build this system for yourself.
You see, high-performing teams, they bake this validation right into their daily and weekly routines. They are absolutely not waiting until month's end to reconcile the bank accounts or review key details. And by doing things like mid-month variance reviews, they catch mistakes or misclassifications super early, when they're easy to fix instead of in the middle of that final crunch time.
Now, all this continuous work is held up by a really strong foundation of clear structure. A detailed closing calendar so everyone knows exactly what's due and when. Standardized templates to cut down on errors. A centralized, totally visible checklist so there's real accountability. And short, daily stand-up meetings during the close to smash through any roadblocks instantly.
Now, a quick but really important word on automation. Of course, it's a powerful tool, but it's not some magic wand you can just wave. The key thing to get is this. Automation changes the accountant's job from doing the task to validating the task. You still need that professional judgment to look at the automated results and say, yep, that makes sense.
And that little shift right there, it actually leads to a much bigger conversation. Because this isn't just about changing a process, it's about fundamentally evolving the role of the accountant and what they bring to the table.
Just look at this comparison. The old way was all about being a scorekeeper, right? Punching in data, reconciling accounts. The modern way, because you're freed up by automation and better processes, is about using your judgment, validating the integrity of whole systems, and, this is the most important part, interpreting what the numbers are actually trying to tell the business.
This is the new mandate. A modern accountant doesn't just assume the data flowing between systems is correct, they test it. They don't just see a number that's off, they go validate the business reasons behind it. They level up from just reporting what happened to explaining why it happened. And ultimately, this is the most powerful takeaway of all. A successful close isn't just a checklist of posted journal entries. It is a full-on demonstration that the finance team truly, deeply understands the financial performance and position of the entire business. So, what does it really take to put all these pieces together? Let's wrap this up by summarizing the key things that separate the absolute best finance teams from everyone else. World-class teams really do excel across the board. You can see it here. Their processes start before the month ends. They use integrated systems that talk to each other. Their people have crystal clear ownership. They build a no-surprises culture where problems are brought up early. And they measure what actually matters, like how many adjustments they have to make after the close so they can keep getting better. So it all comes down to these 4 pillars. Plan early, before the month is even over. Make validation a constant habit, not some big month-end event. Use automation smartly as a tool to help your judgment, not replace it. And finally, build a culture where every single person on the team owns the accuracy of those final numbers.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. The month-end close is so much more than just an accounting exercise. A smooth, accurate, and fast close builds confidence across the entire organization, with your leadership, your investors, everyone. So the real question isn't just how fast can you close, it's how much confidence is your process really building?